What a game, what a game. Lots to talk about in that game. Celtic ultimately won 5-2. Should they have had a penalty? A lot of people on the panel on Sky said, yep, it should have been a penalty. VAR decided that nope, didn't need looked at because Alistair Johnson gets to the ball first. He taps the ball first before colliding, and it's a natural. Even though he's got his suds up, I think that we were lucky to get away with that one. The first half of the game, we weren't at our best. We weren't at our best at all. And about time, Baz, leave us waiting. Let me just do it. I'll just turn that down a bit. Yeah, we weren't at our best in the first half. There were many players that could have been taken off in the second half. And he took Callum McGregor off, and rightly so. But I thought that Rio Hatate could have been taken off as well. Rio Hatate seemed to turn up after Callum McGregor was taken off. It was unfortunate that Trusty gets an elbow to the face, and there was no yellow card or anything. And even though the fact that he's bleeding and had to leave the pitch with a head injury. And then Liam Scales comes into the game. The Asian boys are on fire. There is only one person that we really need to be talking about. And what is Brendan Rodgers? And we need to talk about Kuhn. We'll talk about Nico Kuhn first. Nico Kuhn is a player. Has he had his head turned with the speculation? Has Kuhn, because he doesn't seem to be going into tackles as much. He's not taking on players. He's not performing the way that he did at the beginning of the season. Is it in the back of his mind that he just wants to see out the season now at Celtic because he knows that Newcastle are going to come in with a big money offer for him? Has he had his head turned, knowing that the fact that he could be down playing in the Premier League? Yang. Where has Yang been since he signed, says Dave Stewart. Exactly. Brendan Rodgers has worked his absolute magic with Yang. Brendan Rodgers came out and said just at the end of the transfer window that he wanted to focus more on Yang in training, and he's been doing so. And I tell you one thing, what an absolute cracking player that Yang is. Both goals, both by the head, fantastic. I mean, the one, there's just no words for Yang. He's just absolutely phenomenal towards the end of the season, where Kuhn seems to be letting himself down a little bit. Other players that let themselves down today, Callum McGregor wasn't at the races. I don't know what was going on. And what is the issue with Sky? Sorry, but Sky Television having one camera on the halfway line and then one camera behind each goal. It's a poor man's TV watch. It's terrible. When you watch some of the games here in Spain and you see the camera angles that they managed to get, I mean, I can remember a day when Sky Television had Scottish football and they would have cameramen on the bylines. They don't have that anymore. They've reduced the amount of cameramen, and that's what it looks like. I mean, for me, it looks like they've reduced the amount of cameras that they're using at games in Scotland. Have one behind the goal at an away game, and then one in the opposite from the main stand, which is just terrible. It's terrible. Anyway, Yang certainly come on in a recent game. He did get man of the match. Maider's running. He's nutmegged. It was Larskin-esque. Hatate Sean when McGregor went off. He did, Jamesy boy. And I noticed that as well. Hatate seemed to play better when Callum McGregor wasn't there. And why is that? It was a bit strange. Let me just see, that's not in the right place. Put it in there. Yeah, it's a bit better there, isn't it? Anyway, so what went wrong the first half? When you see the players that started the game, players that were having a bad first half, you could say Hatate, Kuhn, Adam Ida, and McGregor. They were all having poor first halves. What does Adam Ida have to do to find his goal scoring form again? I know that Brendan Rodgers has said that, look, I don't really overly rely on strikers to score the goals, but he was hooked. So he was obviously hooked for a reason. And this is another reason that I don't like Sky Television doing the TV coverage, because you can't see what players are doing off the ball. I mean, they just have the one camera following the ball, and it's like watching football for the 1980s. It's like watching the BBC back in the day. It's terrible. Barry Ferguson, what a plum, says David Lamont. It's been a while since anyone attacks the back post, and we've got the result. Well done, Yang. Yep, well done, Yang. I wouldn't pity Sky. I wouldn't bin Chris Boyd altogether. And yeah, I know. Engels stepped up when McGregor went off. The boy just improves. Arnie Engels taking another penalty and scoring a cracking penalty right through the middle of the goal, right down the middle line. And you're saying to yourself, everyone knows that he either goes right into the corners, and he's changed it up. Which is fantastic for him. A lot of positives to take out of the game, and we are just 3 games away now, isn't it? 3 games away from winning the SPFL title. It is one step closer. And let me just get Celtic, just to get that up. So now it looks like we will win the game at St Johnstone. We will win the game. We will win the title if we win against Rangers at Celtic Park. If we win against Heart of Midlothian at Celtic Park. When we travel to St Johnstone on Sunday the 6th, I said it a couple of weeks ago, didn't I? I predicted it might be the St Johnstone game, because it's always an away game. It would have been great to do it at Celtic Park for Kilmarnock. It would have been even better if Rangers had dropped points and lost the game the other day. But then again, Rangers dropping points against Celtic. If they were to drop points the same day that we play Hearts, can Celtic ultimately win the league at home against Heart of Midlothian? That would be absolutely fantastic. That would just be a scream, wouldn't it? It is a 3 o'clock kickoff on that Saturday. It's where the Sunday game on the 6th of April, St Johnstone, is a 12 o'clock kick-off, and then Kilmarnock on the Saturday is a 4 o'clock kick-off. It's a strange one. The Hearts one must be starting an hour later for TV as well, because that's a 4 o'clock kick-off. No, it's not. It's a 3 o'clock kickoff. Why does Celtic automatically change times? Jesus. Anyway, we move on. Let's jump into the comments. Yes, what did I there? What? Never in doubt. It's flying column. Yang has begun to show why he was signed. Schlupp is a no-brainer on a free permanent transfer worth 2-year deal. Can Celtic afford Schlupp? Are we going to pay somebody the 30 grand a week to play backup to Kieran Tierney? It's all going to come down to money. Hibs win tomorrow. The Huns and Kelly and the wee Huns' hearts all pumped. 55 is incoming. Yes, let's get that up on the screen rather than the team. There we go. The 55, inward bound, the 55. And it does have Callum McGregor because he's the captain of the club, but he didn't play absolutely fantastic today, did he? Kasper Schmeichel. We need to talk about the goals. The free kick. Adam Ida not jumping the same time as the wall, and you could say that like it would have went in anyway. But Adam Ida for the Trusty is a big fear to come back. Effie Ambrose, all is forgiven. Jesus, I think that's a bit much. Celtic song tonight. The Huns are falling apart. Again, Joy Division class. Sloop, I'm in the Yang Gang. I'm in the Yang Gang. That just shouldn't even be a thing. Let me just see what some people were saying online on the Celtic page. Minus 16 in March, the Yang Gang. Oh my goodness. Jesus. Major disappointment on Armored Services Day. Major disappointed. Jesus, that's just Hilarious, that one. Let me see what people are saying on the Celtic site. Full time, well-deserved victory today. Was it a well-deserved victory? Yes, of course it was. I mean, Celtic was just phenomenal in the second half. And Yang, absolutely brilliant. Jota coming on. Jota needs to start every week. Kuhn, there's now question marks over Kuhn. And I honestly think that Kuhn is a player that's thinking that he is trying to maintain his fitness so he doesn't get injured. That's what Kuhn's... Kuhn made a fantastic pass for Jeffrey Schlupp to score his first goal. We've not talked about Schlupp yet. I mean, he scored his first goal for Celtic, and an absolute cracker. And what about Luke McCowan? What about Luke? Thank goodness that it's not the old wooden posts and it's metal posts that they have at grounds these days. Because if it was old wooden posts, the one that Luke McCowan struck would have snapped the post in half. You heard it bounce back off it. It was absolutely unbelievable. Living in youngsters' paradise. Don't ever put that. I've seen somebody doing youngsters' paradise on Twitter. That shouldn't even be a thing. Yang's all over the place today. Shang-a-lang. Oh no, don't read the comments, just get on with it. Saved our best for the last. By the way, is your mother well? Wow, what a twist of events. Well done, the boys in green. Actually can't express how finished Celtic are. Scraping past the likes of St Mirren, once Rangers takeover happens, you're all done with. Absolutely steamroll the league next season, says Spurs trophies win. Can't express how finished Celtic are. Are Celtic finished? I think Celtic are a team that have played quite a lot of football. There's a guy that put a £20 stake on. He got 120 quid, 130 return. He cashed out at 121. Well, there you go. Imagine cashing out. Hard fought 3 points against a big strong team. They are big players. Time to give Johnny Kenny a run out rather than Dyson Maida. Is something we need to talk about in the future. Always great scoring 5 away from home, but our defence has been awfully shaky the last 3 games. Need to sort their shit out. Fantastic for Yang getting a brace and an assist. Manager obviously appreciates the player and is going to bring the best out in his A game. Younger management, baby. Younger management. Who needs Kyogo when you've got Kiango? Jesus, God, what do people think of? Definitely not the greatest. St Mirren fought well, maybe lucky not to concede a penalty before our fourth. We need to see it again. It was a penalty. I'd say it was a penalty, but it wasn't given. So maybe that was the VAR levelling things up. You know how they like to say that things get levelled up across the season. Maybe it was the fact that VAR didn't give Celtic the Dyson Maida goal a couple of weeks ago, and maybe they didn't give the penalty to just level things up. Not that it should be that way. Not that it should be that way at all. Maida's goal was absolutely sublime. Yep, the one where he knocks it through the guy's legs and then takes it. Looking to the summer, I'm still got the fear of death in me this summer. I think that there will be, obviously, there is clubs looking at Kuhn, and I'm going to be honest, if we get 20 million for Kuhn, I would take it all day long. Nico Kuhn is a player that, he is a fantastic player, but when it gets to the nitty-gritty part of the season, I just don't think that he's been at his best the last, couple of weeks. I think that the speculation, and he'll know the speculation, his agent will know the speculation, and I think that he's a player that's maybe had, it's in the back of his head not to get injured and not to go into silly tackles that maybe get him an injury, which may put off any suitor making a bid for him this summer. Rio Hatate, I'll be honest, I think that Rio Hatate has one eye on out of Celtic Park. He's a player that is as good as Rio Hatate is, and is as good as Rio Hatate was in the second half after Callum McGregor went out, left the field of play. Rio Hatate, for me, doesn't chase back enough, and I don't see how we're going to get a big money offer for Rio Hatate when he goes through phases of the game like that. He doesn't chase back enough. There was, for one of the goals that was conceded, he pulled out 3 tackles. He pulled out of 3 tackles, Rio Hatate, and for me, that's going to put a question mark over the type of money that we're going to get for him. And I think that this will be the last year that we have Rio Hatate at the club. I think that he is ultimately looking to do a Kyogo and leave the club. When you look at Dyson Maeda, he doesn't actually look as if he wants to leave Celtic. When he came off, the smiles that he gave Brendan Rodgers, he's got a real good connection with Brendan Rodgers. Does he have that connection with Brendan Rodgers due to the fact that Brendan likes to play him in his preferred role? He prefers to play through the middle as a striker for Japan. Is it the case that Dyson Maeda appreciates Brendan Rodgers? But I still think that there'll be a big offer ultimately will come in for him in the summer. It's which ones do we sell? Which ones do we sell? I mean, for me, you could sell Rio Hatate and Kuhn all day long. If that brings in 45 million to the club, so be it. I just hope that Brendan Rodgers gets to spend the best part of that 45 million that does come in this year to make sure that we win the Champions League qualifier. Anyway, Maeda's not going nowhere, says Martin K. Flying Column says we will not get big money for Hatate. I think if we get 10 million for him, that's good enough. I think if we get 10 million for him, that's more than enough. That I'd be willing. He's got 3 years left on his contract after this, so that's why I think it'll be the 10 million mark that we'll get from 10 million plus. If we get 10 million for Tate, we will be lucky, says Paul Baird. Scales was a nightmare. I'm not even going to talk about Scales, because every time I talk about Scales I get comments and the folk in the comment section saying, keep your back off his Scales, you're talking shite, you. Why wouldn't anyone change that's not a team in the Champions League? Celtic 1888 is all about money, isn't it? It is all about money. Nice to see Dyson celebrate his goal today. It's always a worry when you don't celebrate. Maybe things aren't all rosy. Nah, Pubcat, when you see him when he went off, and when he went off and the smile that he gave to Brendan Rodgers, and Brendan Rodgers gave him that wee hug as he was going off, I think all's fine there. I don't think that there's anything untoward going on. I think that Dyson Maeda completely appreciates what Brendan Rodgers is doing for his career. And it'll all come down to whether Celtic want to sell him or not. Goal difference is now why. John, how are you this evening, John? Any zombie meltdowns doing the rounds? Yes, John, check out the channel. There's quite a few. We did a live hackathon earlier, and I did another one that went live at half time. And I'll just get it up for you. That sounded wrong, didn't it? That sounded so wrong. So once you've finished this even, once you've finished this, if you all head over and watch this video, watch that one. I'll pin it right at the top for you. Pin message. Scales done his bit, but need to find someone else. Welsh is fourth choice. Welsh is away. Welsh is on loan. So it's questionable whether he will come back to Celtic or whether he's getting enough game time that he says. Lagerbielke, he's out on loan. They do not have an option to buy Lagerbielke. Noroke, he's that far out of the picture that Celtic need to recoup the best part of the 4 million that we paid for him. I think that's another player that we're going to make a loss on. Anyway, as soon as Kalmark went off, it looked more fluid. Yang did more than Kuhn in the last 3 games. Yep, he did. It certainly did, Baz. Sweeties for the daughter, Michelle. What? Paradise Sun says, Michelle, why are you saying well done? Did you? I don't know why I was saying. Where's the point where we can take the financial hit if we hold on to Maeda? I don't think that we would take a financial hit on Dyson Maeda. We bought him for 1.6 million. We could run him down to the last year of his contract if he's not going to sign a new contract. I mean, our Celtic, he's only got 2 years left. Are Celtic prepared to offer him? This is the way that it will lie this summer with Dyson Maeda. Are Celtic interested in keeping him longer? So they would give him. They know that he's got 2 years left, but that as an asset, his age, I think he's only 27, isn't he, Dyson Maeda? When you look at his age and the 2 years that he's got left, you would be really wanting to get Dyson Maeda signed up on a further extension this year. He signed a new extension 2 years ago. If you were wanting to keep him longer, this is the summer that you do it. This is the summer that you get that extension in place. I don't know if there's an agreement in his contract to give him a further year, but I wouldn't risk that. So that means that coming to this summer, to maximise any money that Celtic are going to get for him, you're going to sell him this summer if he's not going to take on a new contract. But then who do we bring in? And that's the big question, because I think that, I mean, is Jota and Yang, and here's a possibility. Jota and Yang are your wingers for next season, because we sell Nico Kuhn, Dyson Maeda's ultimately so. I mean, we could lose 3 players this summer. We could lose Dyson Maeda. We could lose Nico Kuhn. Okay? And we could lose Rio Hatate. Now, we all know that Rio Hatate has spoken about it in the past 2 summers, saying that he wants to play at a higher level domestically. A big money offer coming in for Nico Kuhn. He might say, do you know what, I fancy that. I fancy a shot at Newcastle. They're going to come in with a 20 million offer. You take that. You take 15 million for Dyson Maeda. You take 10 million for Rio Hatate, and there's 45 million in the bank. But we need to. Baz, don't mention run when speaking about Dyson. Maeda could play till he's 50 years old, yet he could that. John Kelly, everybody's thoughts on zombie ticket allocation. Personally, I wouldn't give them SFA. We spoke about that another night, John. I'd be more concerned about Johnston. About Alistair Johnston, about somebody coming in for Alistair Johnston. He just signed a new contract this year. He just signed a new contract at the Christmas. So I wouldn't be overly concerned about Alistair Johnston. Yang's like a new signing, looking forward to seeing Forrest come back also. Yep, remember we've got Forrest. 15 million for Maeda, don't be daft, says a opinionated Glaswegian. I'm taking that at the lower end of it. He's only got 2 years left on his contract. You know, it's Celtic would need to play hardball. You need to play hardball. Anyway, how long have we been on? 22 minutes. Let me see what the Celtic headlines are out there. See what Celtic are saying about the game today. I missed Brendan Rodgers. Sweet 16 for Celts. Did they extend the league with the win over St Mirren? Celtic extended the lead at the top of the table to 16 points with a 5-2 win over St Mirren and Paisley, thanks to goals from Jeffrey Schlupp, first goal for Celtic, Arne Engels, penalty right down the middle, Dyson Maeda, double, a couple of cracking goals from Dyson Maeda and a double from Yang, and Dyson Maeda's goal was absolutely phenomenal. Yang gets 2 headers coming in at the back post. Is he a replacement for Nico Kuhn this summer? With over 10 minutes gone, the Celtics had their first big chance at the match. Nico Kuhn sent the long ball over the top. Adam Eder picked up. Who cares? We all know what happened. The possession-wise for the game, let's get the stats. Get the full stats for the game. There was 18 shots on target by Celtic. There was 18 shots in total, 9 on target. Possession was 76% possession, 682 passes. The pass accuracy was down this week. The pass accuracy was down. It was down to 85%. It usually sits around about 91%. So it's down quite dramatically. I mean, that's 5-6% drop in the pass accuracy. It's no wonder that so many players were substituted at once for Celtic. Celtic created 6 fouls. There was no yellow cards, no red cards, 3 offsides, and only the 3 corners for Celtic in the game. Whilst St Mirren, who were at home, had 14 shots in total, 7 on target. They had 24% of the possession of the ball, 203 passes. Their pass accuracy was 66%, with 8 fouls, 3 yellow cards, 4 offsides and 4 corners. Celtic are sitting top of the table with 29 games played. They've won 24, they've drawn 3, they've lost 2. Goals for 87. Goals against has went up to 17. And the majority of those goals have all come away from home. The goal difference is sitting at 70, and that's a massive, massive goal difference. 87 goals for. We're not far off being able to get to that 100 magic goal scoring goals for the season, and that's a number of goals. That's a phenomenal number of goals. In second place of the Sevco, the Barry and Co. Barry Bass, sidewards Baz, has he's taken over the team with 29 games played, 18 wins, 5 draws and 6 losses all season. They've scored 59 goals for, 26 against. They've got a goal difference at 33, and they are sitting on 59. I take it Aberdeen got beat again, going by the league table. Aberdeen are... There's now chancing thrown. Do you know what's crazy? Is Hibernian have now got a chance to go third in the league. Both Hibernian and Dundee United. Aberdeen are in just an absolute mess, aren't they? For such a good start to the season, and I was hoping that they were going to push Rangers for the second spot all season. Hibernian are on 40 points. Dundee United are on 40 points. Motherwell are on 37 points. Hearts have been pushed out the top 6. Yes. Hearts have been pushed out the top 6 into 36 points. Ross County are on 35 points. St Mirren are on 34 points. Kilmarnock are on 31 in 10th position. Dundee are on 28 points in 11th position. And St Johnstone, it looks like St Johnstone will be the team that goes down. And St Johnstone will probably be the team that goes down, and Celtic will win the league away to St Johnstone. And it's not going to be at home by the looks of it. We should get 100 league goals, no problem, says Paul Baird. John says Aberdeen playing tomorrow against Dundee United. Well, there we go. Does Aberdeen... I don't even know. Does it say that on the table? Where's the table? Oh, yeah, so they do. Dundee United and Aberdeen, they're only on 28 games. So there you go. That's going to be a hard game, isn't it? That's a winner-takes-all game. That is a winner-takes-all game. Dundee United are playing not too bad. Well, I'm saying that, going on their form. They've only won 1 in the last 5 games. Anyway, that's me done and dusted. We'll do 110 goals this season, says Ian Roy, who's desperate to get us over to the USA. I talked to a Dundee United fan. He's not confident, but would take a draw as long as they pump Dundee. Black Sausage Square says, but hurt the sheep play. What? Oh, Jesus. The Aberdeen game's tomorrow. Yes, I see that. Aberdeen players are not playing for their manager. Well, he's the one that brought them in. Anyway, that is me done and dusted for this evening. If you want something else, if you want to watch some more football, Meltdown, check out this video there. And on that note, I shall see you first thing in the morning. Have a fantastic day, Celtic fans, wherever you are. I need to get the end video up, don't I? Because I've not had that up for ages. Anyway, have a fantastic day, Celtic fans. The 55 is incoming.